In the grand scheme of the 2021 CCBL season, it's crunch time for Y-D as they start a two-game stretch with the Beast of the East, the Brewster Whitecaps. Hello and welcome. Alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you. And Will, I'm not lying. Right now, Y-D is behind the eight ball, and after a 2-0 loss on the road against Falmouth, it seems like this might be a must-win.
It is a game that is very important for Y-D, of course. After coming off the schneid last two games, they've just scored one run. So it's important for the offense to come alive today, Brad, at Red Wilson Field. The team has been a little slow as of late, but games increase with importance as the season progresses. And tonight, the ultimate importance here at Red Wilson Field against the top team in the East, the Brewster Whitecaps.
And they're the top team in the East largely because of pitching, a 2.57 ERA against the Red Sox this season. A lot of that has to do with guys like Bryce Hubbard, for example, but in this two-game stretch, Y-D won't be seeing that lefty. Instead, they're actually going to be seeing a pseudo-opener, reliever-turned-starter, Hunter Patterson.
Yeah, and you mentioned that these games are important. You preluded to tomorrow. Back-to-back days against Brewster, it's a huge opportunity for the Y-D Red Sox, who currently sit in third place in the East Division. You have to get in the top two to make the playoffs, something Y-D fans are so accustomed to seeing Scott Pickler coach teams get into the postseason. With 2 wins, they will be sitting pretty. With 2 losses, though, it could be the ultimate dagger with just 10 games left after today.
So those are the postseason implications. The matchup that Brewster's throwing out there is Hunter Patterson. For Y-D, it's Adam Meyer, the righty from British Columbia. The first time that Red Sox fans are seeing him at Red Wilson Field, but no start bigger than this one today.
Adam Meyer, really good pitcher, Brad. And the interesting thing about Adam Meyer, we've seen him on the road this year, making his third start. Somebody who can throw the ball at a very, very high level. Has a fastball that can reach up to 95 miles per hour. And typically you see guys from the SEC throwing that velocity. He comes from the University of British Columbia, an NAIA school, Brad. He hadn't thrown until he made his first appearance this summer since the March of 2020 when COVID shut everything down. He went to UBC in autumn of 2019. COVID 2020 shut it down, and this past year they didn't play. Still has 4 years of eligibility left, and he's very talented with a great slider that was working in his last appearance.
Well, yeah, forget about the SEC caliber stuff. You mentioned that his fastball is that of an SEC pitcher. His spin rate in his last appearance was that of an MLB pitcher. According to the calculated spin rate, that would be about top 5% in his last outing in MLB. So we start with Alex Freeland, the left-handed hitter from UCF, in the top of the first inning against Adam Meyer, making his 4th start of the season, a 5.17 ERA for the Canadian.
Yeah, Adam Meyer's slider is really good. It was working last time he was on the mound at Orleans, and excited to see how he can build off that.
Alex Freeland, ground ball down the first baseline. It gets through, and rounding first, he's on to second. Chase Luttrell barehands it, and it's a first pitch double for Alex Freeland in the top of the first inning.
That's one way to get behind the 8 ball very soon in a ball game. Get a runner on scoring position just after 1 pitch is thrown in the ball game. So now Adam Meyer going to have to work out of the stretch and out of some trouble after surrendering the leadoff double.
And even Bowser couldn't catch up to that sharply hit ground ball. At 6'4", he's one of the longest players on the team and a right-handed thrower. So the ball was on his glove side. Here's another left-handed hitter, Jake Thompson, the CCBL All-Star. With a runner on second base, no one out, and Adam Meyer working from the stretch on his second pitch. There's the fastball down the middle for strike 1.
That was the 3rd double of the season for Alex Freeland, and now on a 3-game hit streak. He has 2 doubles in the past 3 games, but Brewster getting aboard early, trying to take advantage of the leadoff double by Freeland.
And Freeland had been just 1 for 9 against Y-D, his worst mark against a single team. Wiffle ball slider low and away for ball 1. Count even at 1-1, no one out, runner on second base after the leadoff double by Freeland.
And he's been struggling a little bit as of late. He was just 3 for his past 17, 176 clip over the past 5 games, but it's a double here.
Jake Thompson swings and misses way in front of the changeup, 1-2.
And Adam Meyer, I know it's his first appearance at Red Wilson Field, but before the season started, there was a lot of chatter about the way that Adam Meyer threw the baseball here in one of the opening scrimmages. He was really dominant, and he has so much potential with his stuff that we talk about. We'll see if that can't play in the strike zone today for the right-hander.
Stuff starts with the slider, hasn't gone to the slider all but one time. That one clocked to deep right field. Littrell is under it to make the catch, and Freeland tagging up from second base. He's on to third, a sacrifice fly for Jake Thompson.
And Jake Thompson, an all-star for a reason, has been struggling a little bit as of late. Just a 185 clip over the past 10 games, but he's their leading qualified hitter on the team for Brewster. He's gotten on base in 22 of 24 games. A big reason why he's an all-star. That's an all-star at bat right there. Move a guy over, put a ball deep here at Red Wilson Field, and advance a guy 90 feet. Now you've got less than 2 outs and a runner on third base. Time to do a job. Y-D knows they got to bring the infield a little bit in.
The infield is halfway for Chris Lanzilli. The Wake Forest Demon Deacon, first-time Y-D fans are seeing him, and the first pitch slider on the outside corner to the righty for strike one.
Really, really good hitter at Wake Forest. He actually played with Harwich in 2019, hit 4 home runs for them, but he has 42 career home runs at Wake Forest, which ranks in the top 10 for the Demon Deacons.
And Lanzilli swings and misses, 0-2.
But he's not the only Wake Forest Demon Deacon. Brock Wilkin in Harwich, he also hits a lot of home runs in this league. Someone else who does a solid job in terms of hitting the ball out of the ballpark playing for Harwich. So a couple of Wake Forest players, power hitters in this league, showcasing their talents this summer.
Meyer gave up a leadoff double, now in a pickle. Another slider low and away taken by Lanzilli, 1-2. So after that leadoff double by Freeland, it was a sacrifice fly to deep right field by Jake Thompson. And now it's Chris Lanzilli's turn, hitting in the 3-hole. 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position this year. The 1-2. Inside.
And the 0-2 pitch wasn't bad. The 1-2 pitch wasn't bad as well. He evens the count here, but if you're Adam Meyer with a runner on third, you're looking for a strikeout. You don't want him to elevate something and get a runner in. You're looking for a strikeout or very weak contact on the ground. You don't want that run to come in from third.
Lanzilli goes down swinging for out number 2.
Huge pitch right there on the inside black. Adam Meyer threw that pitch on the 1-2 pitch right on the inside corner. It was taken. He goes right back to the inside black to get Lanzilli, and that's a big-time pitch there by Adam Meyer. When he can spot that arm side fastball, he can couple that and tunnel that with the glove side slider that breaks away, and a huge strikeout right there from Meyer. Now he's trying to aim to leave that runner on third just 1 out away.
Here's Spencer Jones from Vanderbilt. Hit .274 for the Commodores this past year. Fastball misses outside, and Cody Huff checks back the runner at third. Alex Freeland dives back safely.
Don't you dare run on Cody Huff. Isn't that the theme this year for base runners? And Cody Huff, he was getting ready to throw it down to Zach Liu. He thought a moment about it.
The last time Spencer Jones was involved in a runner on third situation with Cody Huff behind the plate, he was the runner, and it was Omaha. Ended up scoring the run on a wild pitch that got over Cody Huff's head.
And Omaha was a theme last night in Y-D's loss when they lost 2-0. Just 3 hits, 2 pitchers from Mississippi State shut down the Red Sox, the champions of the College World Series.
Count even at 1-1 with 2 outs, and Spencer Jones grounds it sharply over to Hoffman. He fields it, he throws it in time, side retired. So Adam Meyer works in and out of trouble and strands a leadoff double in the middle of the first. No score between the Red Sox and the Whitecaps right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, bottom of the first inning, no score between Y-D and Brewster in a big game for the Red Sox. Y-D with a 51% point percentage, and that is the new system that the CCBL is using. Can't just go by points because different teams are playing a different amount of games with no makeups because of COVID. And a first pitch fastball delivered and fouled by Wyatt Hoffman from the lefty Hunter Pattison, the UCF Golden Knight starter turned reliever turned starter. Pattison began the season this past year in 2021 as a starter for UCF, ended up working himself out of that role. Had a 6.86 starter ERA, but found a groove in the bullpen with a 3.41 mark. And Wyatt Hoffman, a 250 leadoff hitter, quickly behind 0-2, watches the fastball low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Pattison, he's a talented lefty. From Florida originally, went to UCF thereafter, but he had 2 bad outings where he let up 10 earned runs. In those outings, they can blow up your ERA.
Fastball upstairs, 2-2.
And Brad, those aren't always indicative, the ERA sometimes, of a pitcher, because you know how one bad outing, it can really not tell the whole story sometimes with that earned run average if it can be a little higher as a starting pitcher.
Wyatt Hoffman twirls around the changeup for strike 3. So a quick punch out for Hunter Pattison, who's now making his 3rd appearance of the season against the Red Sox. Has now gone 6 innings, given up 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. And Y-D is hitting Sub Mendoza against him. That has been a motif, though, Sub Mendoza. They're hitting a .196 as a team over their last 10 games. And Brooks Lee, the switch hitter, swinging from the right side and swings out of his shoes on the breaking ball for strike 1.
And he threw a good pitch to Wyatt Hoffman to get him to strike out. Tough thing to do, just his 2nd strikeout in the last 7 games atop Y-D's order.
Lee chasing the pinata, 0-2. Now the good news for Brooks Lee as he gets the swing from the right side is that he's hitting a cool .500 against the Southpaws. The bad news, he doesn't have a single extra base hit against lefties. Outside, 1-2.
Well, for Brooks Lee this season, he only has the 3 extra base hits, all come in the form of home runs.
And all of his RBIs come against righties. The 1-2 is clocked to deep left field, slicing foul. Brooks Lee took that one for a ride despite it being very low in the zone, kind of pulled out the 3-wood down the left field line and was a little early. So the count is now still 1-2, 1 out, no one on, and no score.
Pattison, someone who's thrown the ball better as of late, went 4 innings, just 1 earned in his last outing. But just 1 earned run over his last 7 innings pitched with Brewster, but they're no stranger to good pitching, as you mentioned.
And Lee clocks that one to left field right at Castillo for the 2nd out.
And last night, and of course the game before, losing to Harwich and then losing last night at Falmouth, the offense had been a little quiet, and it's Brooks Lee, Dominic Keegan, the meat of the order. When you hit 2nd and 3rd and you're the most talented players in the lineup, those are the guys that you're angling to produce for you. And when you go in those slumps, you look towards your stars to come through for you.
And they didn't come through last night in the 8th inning with a runner on base, trying to come back from an 0-2 deficit. Lee and Keegan struck out as Keegan waves at the breaking ball low below the zone.
How about Dominic Keegan against the left-handers? Hit so well at Vanderbilt, and he's kept it up so far this summer.
4 for 7 against lefties as a Red Sox, quickly behind 0-2.
And he nearly hit 400 at Vanderbilt against the Southpaws. He's just deadly against the left-handers, and it's huge for Dominic Keegan to come here because Y-D overall, before Dominic Keegan got here, they hit much worse against lefties than righties.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Dom Keegan now, who is yet to walk as a Y-D Red Sox, has 7 strikeouts. That shouldn't come as a concern, though. When you have 3 home runs, you can pretty much do whatever else you want. And the breaking ball gets away from Pattison. He didn't think so. Went a little bit around the mound thinking he had a victory trot to his name, but not quite. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, no one on, no score. In the bottom of the first inning. And Keegan drives that one to center field. And Spencer Jones makes the shoestring grab for the 3rd out. Side retired. Dom Keegan hit both seams on the nose, but Jones, with his 6'7" reach, got under it just in the nick of time. No score at the end of 1. Hey kids, young and old, join us at Red Wilson Field, Station Avenue, Yarmouth, Massachusetts, which is home of the Y-D Red Sox, for a special appearance by Boston's favorite Red Sox mascot, Wally, on August 2nd, 2021. We'll be signing autographs and taking pictures with fans. Don't miss Fenway's favorite green guy from 4:30 to 6. Back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the 2nd inning, no score between Brewster and Y-D. Curtis Byrne, the right-handed hitting catcher from TCU, leading off against Adam Meyer, who worked in and out of trouble after a leadoff double on the first pitch. Got a fly out, a strikeout, and a ground out to retire the side. No balls and a strike to Byrne. And Adam Meyer, in his last appearance against Orleans, a 3-3 tie on the road. He was very strong and only gave up 1 leadoff hit. But when Adam Meyer is facing runners in scoring position, his message is challenge accepted. Opposing hitters are 2 for 17. That's a $118 actually, against Adam Meyer with runners in scoring position. And Curtis Byrne tornadoes around the slider for the 2nd strikeout of the day. Adam Meyer has registered.
And that was impressive by Adam Meyer, making quick work of Curtis Byrne there, going with the slider that we talked about in the pregame show of how good it is, and he's able to go to it there when he's ahead in the count and working out of the stretch that was crucial. That was very impressive, not to let the go-ahead run get aboard and work out of the stretch, set down the next 3 hitters in the first, and now maybe he can find himself his groove. He ended the first on a groove and spotting up pitches at a high level right now. And when he gets ahead, we know how good his stuff is. If he can get those first strikes, he's going to be in position to have a lot of success today.
Chad Castillo making his first start against the Red Sox. No balls, or rather 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left fielder from Cal Baptist. This is just his 7th game in the CCBL, hitting .350 though.
Yeah, it's a really good start for him this summer.
1 ball, 2 strikes now. Played in 53, rather started in 53 of the 56 games that he played. Ranked 3rd on Cal Baptist with 67 hits. Of course, Y-D has relied largely on a Cal Baptist player, C.J. Culpepper, in the back end of the bullpen. The 1-2, and down goes Castillo for the 2nd time in this inning, and the 3rd time today. Adam Meyer registers a K.
Wow, and That slider from Adam Meyer, that's the best I've seen him throw this season. It was very tight. It appeared as though to the left-handed hitter, Chad Castillo, he was out in front of it, and it looked initially like it was a hard fastball on the outside corner, and then broke inside at the last minute. The right-hander going back foot to the left-handed hitter. That's a really good slider from Adam Meyer.
And there's the cutter from Adam Meyer that he's been working very hard on.
Yeah.
Another pitch that he's been working on is the changeup. He told us that he was trying to take some advice, some lessons from Trevor Hoffman, who has one of the best changeups in the history of the game. Of course, Trevor Hoffman was in town to watch his son Wyatt. And Adam Meyer now 0-2 with 2 outs on Nick Biddison, the second baseman from Virginia Tech. And Biddison goes down swinging. Adam Meyer strikes out the side. He's unscathed through 2. In the middle of the second, no score between Y-D and Brewster on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the second, Y-D 0, same as Brewster. Cody Huff leading off for the Red Sox against the southpaw Hunter Pattison, who sent Y-D down in order, a strikeout and 2 lineouts in the first inning. Cody Huff swings and misses through the fastball for strike 1. He is 0 in his past 3 games, the Stanford catcher, who walked yesterday, and that's been a rare occurrence for Huff. His first walk in 11 games. 1 ball, 1 strike with no outs. But Hunter Pattison looked pretty impressive, making his second start in the CCBL, second in as many appearances. The last 2 appearances have been starts. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Huff.
Yeah, and for Huff, he had 2 walks yesterday. Hitless in the last 3, 0 for his last 8, but the first multi-walk game of the summer for Cody Huff, and walks Y-D just with 62 as a team. That's 21 less than the second worst team in the league.
Grounded up the middle, Faltini handles it on to first in time for the first out.
And Faltini just so athletic over at shortstop, makes a nice play, and defensively, you're not going to find many better defenders in this league than Trey Faltini over at shortstop. I know on the other side of the box score, Brooks Lee, he holds his own over at shortstop as well, but Faltini with just really nice leather at short.
So here's the first team All-Big Wester, Chase Luttrell, who waves at the breaking ball for strike 1. Now Trey Faltini really has been a defensive staple for Brewster. Very athletic over there, and you need plenty of range. He has committed 3 errors, which is towards the top of the team. The high water mark is Alex Freeland, another shortstop for Brewster. And the 1-1 to Luttrell. Popped up a mile high, right side, foul ground. Jake Thompson on for a look, and he can't make the basket catch. It pinballs off his breadbasket down to the turf, and Chase Luttrell lives to see another pitch.
Yeah, when you talk about Faltini at shortstop coming from Texas, he was a later arrival to Brewster because he came from the College World Series at Texas, but he led the nation. He was involved with 32 double play balls this year atop of the nation. While he just hit 249, he was playing every day just because his glove was so good for the Longhorns.
Luttrell grounds it slowly over to the right side. Biddison, the second baseman, zings over to first in time. 2 away. Now Faltini had plenty of mentorship at Texas. Troy Tulowitzki, a coach for the Longhorns, knows a thing or two about playing shortstop.
Yeah, that's a good person to learn from. I know last inning you talked about Adam Meyer trying to take knowledge from Trevor Hoffman.
The Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Fame closer, one of the greatest closers ever to play Major League Baseball. And when you can learn from a major leaguer at any capacity, when you're a college athlete, especially playing on Cape with pro aspirations, it's great. But when you can learn from guys of the pedigree of Troy Tulowitzki and Trevor Hoffman, it just makes it so incredible, the knowledge that those players have and the success that they have had at the major league level, which is what many of these players right now playing in front of these scouts have as well.
And you talk about Trevor Hoffman as the second best reliever of all time, likely behind Mariano Rivera, but one thing those 2 relievers had in common, as Bowser is ahead in the count, 2-1, 2 outs, no one on, bottom of the second, is that both of them probably had the best pitch of any reliever at the time, right? Trevor Hoffman's changeup at its pinnacle was probably the best pitch in the game and maybe the best changeup ever. And then Mariano Rivera's cutter is widely regarded as the best cutter of all time.
Yeah, 2 outstanding pitchers in the back end of bullpens, and there's been great closers throughout history in sports, but those 2 atop many lists for their just automaticness in the 9th inning every time they towed the rubber.
Inside to Bowser, the count is full for the first time with Hunter Pattison on the mound.
You know, a lot of these athletes, they have access now to knowledge from these athletes who want to pass it on to the next generation.
Bowser drives it to deep right center field. Spencer Jones giving chase. He can't get there, and one hops the wall. Bowser rounds first. He trots over to second. A 2-out double for Drew Bowser, and Y-D is going in the bottom of the second.
They are going, and Drew Bowser, he's going a little bit more as of late as well. He's hitting 286 over his last 5 games after starting 0 for 16 and hitting just 167 overall on the season.
So Drew Bowser puts a runner on second base for Tanner Smith. The Oregon lefty. Swing and a miss for Tanner Smith. So after Drew Bowser's first double of the season and his second extra base hit when you factor in the home run he hit at Red Wilson Field a couple of weeks ago, it's a no-ball, 1-strike count for Tanner Smith with 2 outs. No score in the bottom of the second. And Smith grounds it slowly right side. Biddison shades to his left and on to first in time. Side retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. At the end of 2, no score between the Red Sox and the Whitecaps. Right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the third, no score, alongside Brad Klein and Ryan Kelleher, special assistant to the team president, an intern alongside Brad Klein and myself. And Ryan, how's it going? Glad you could join us on the broadcast.
Boys, thank you so much. This is something that I've always hoped that I could do, and I'm just beyond happy to be here.
Well, Ryan, we see you often downstairs, and we don't envy you because, you know, you got the heat, you got the sweat, and we've got the air conditioner, so it's good to have you up here in the cool booth.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice to be up here in the AC for once. I'm usually in the dugout or concession stand or running anywhere else because that's, I guess, what my job is. So it definitely takes a lot to get through that, but you guys live luxurious here. Very luxurious life.
Adam Meyer records his 4th consecutive strikeout and 5th of the day. Adam Meyer really has been dealing in, Ryan. I know you've been coming to the Cape for 2+ decades, if I have that correctly.
Yes,
you've
sir.
seen a lot of Y-D baseball in your years, and do you have any particular stories for us about coming to the ballpark, maybe seeing a Buster Posey or someone here for a Y-D Red Sox, the championship teams that you've seen? What are some of your top memories here from coming to Red Wilson Field all throughout your lifetime?
Well, I'm going to start with that Buster Posey fact right there, Will. I've been coming to Cape League games since I was 5 years old. My second year, Buster Posey happened to be down the Cape as a shortstop before he made the infamous transition to catcher, where he is now a multi-time All-Star and soon-to-be future Hall of Famer. He was my coach at camp here. I was someone who came to the camps about 3-4 times a summer just because I love being around the guys. I love being able to learn from the top Cape Cod. I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. A little nervous on the air. Learning from the top talent in the Cape and learning from the top Division I baseball players. But I was able to have him as a coach. I had Buster as a coach for 2 years. I had Chris Sale as a coach, and it was definitely a blessing being able to learn from some of the best players in the game, some future Hall of Famers like Chris Sale and Buster Posey, and even some studs out there like Tommy Edman. Learn from him, Chris Taylor, and the list goes on. I mean, it was just definitely special to watch these guys up close before they made their big hit.
All right, so I have a question here, if I may.
Go ahead.
Ryan, I'm not good at baseball, never was. That's why I'm here, right? Okay, you're here with us now.
So you're saying I'm bad at baseball too?
Hold on. Bottom line, I never had Chris Sale, Buster Posey as a coach. What's your excuse?
My excuse? I'm a very short kid, I'm about 5'6". I don't tell people that often, but definitely, height that hurt me, but being able to learn the game just from those guys was very special.
I missed you at the last 5'6" to 5'8" kids meeting Friday night pizza.
Yes, definitely missed you on that one, Brad. Us short kings stay kings.
But Ryan, when you talk about you've come here so often and now you're working for Y-D as an intern like Brad and myself, as we watch Adam Meyer just shove right now, 5 strikeouts in a row and 6 overall. But you've seen a lot of good players. As we talk about Adam Meyer, another really good player. But what got you to start working for Y-D, turning from being a fan and having affinity for the Y-D Red Sox and the Cape Cod League to now being an intern, and kind of describe what you do as a special assistant to the Y-D president?
You know, just becoming an intern was the next logical step for me. I grew up sitting in my lawn chair that still had some sand on it, straight from a day on the beach, right there on the hill in left field, and I grew up watching those 50-50 raffle interns going around, and I just kind of felt the next logical step for me was to come out here and help serve the team. And last year during COVID, my internship search wasn't going the best because a lot of companies are just shutting down or pausing their internship programs to save money, and the Cape Cod Baseball League was still looking. So I saw an application online, and I was like, you know what? I've been a fan for many years. I've been coming to the game for now what is close to 15 years, 16 years, and I felt the next logical step was to come help serve the team. They've done so much for me in both my growing up as a fan and being able to watch the games and being able to learn from the players and just having a great day at the ballpark. So I figured the next logical step would be to serve the team.
And you've served the team now your second year, but first season with the team, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
You've been able to see many seasons for Y-D and players across the league, but I have to ask, where does Brooks Lee rank in terms of players that you have seen over the 2 decades that you've been coming to the Cape of your lifetime? Where does he rank?
You know, Will, Brooks is a special player. just being able to watch him up close this year has been an absolute blessing. And of course, he did take that brief hiatus to go play for Team USA, but
Selfish.
now Brooks is back, and I'd have to tell you, watching someone like him, it's truly special. He's definitely up there with some of the best players I've definitely seen on the Cape. He's just such a overall raw talent, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him go top 3 picks next year. Definitely a first rounder. Being able to play for his dad in Cal Poly and be able to learn has definitely been something that's beneficial for him, and being able to see him down here and work, he's definitely one of the top shortstops and top players I've ever seen down here.
Well, Adam Meyer, acting like a top player right now, has set down 9 hitters in a row for Brewster, including a stretch of striking out 5 guys in a row, 3 shutouts, 6 strikeouts for Adam Meyer. In the middle of the third, no score. Stay tuned with us and Ryan Kelleher on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, hanging out with Brad Klein, Ryan Kelleher, Y-D Red Sox intern. And Ryan, thanks for joining us here on the broadcast. You're here with us in the top frame of the third, now bottom frame of the third. Y-D at the plate, no score. But Ryan, tell us a little bit about what you do for Y-D specifically in terms of what your day-to-day looks like this season, because we see you doing so many different things. It's like you're a Swiss Army knife for the team. What actually is your role and day-to-day look like helping out the team?
Well, Will, I'm not going to lie. That is the exact way that my boss describes me, as a Swiss Army knife. So I'm going to go into a little origin story about how I started. I originally started as a game day operations intern, hired last year, about last March. About a week later, the world shut down, so season shut down. And I was kind of lost because I was so excited to work for this team. And once I found out the season was canceled, I reached out and I said, is there anything I can do to help? And so the team brought these positions in for a digital media intern to help revamp the website, which, free plug right there, go check out our brand new website as of this year. It put a lot of content onto it, helped to really to redevelop and turn into one of the top websites in the league.
By Devidime. They helped create the league best website.
Yes, they did. Shout out to Shane Skinner and Devidime. He definitely very much great job on that, along with digital media team. So I joined as a digital media intern, opposed from that game day operations intern, which I started at. And then from there, the team president had saw that I was doing a special project for the website that involved a video for host families, which you should go check that out if you're interested in becoming a host family. And so I made that video. I'm also working on a couple others, and the president really liked my drive and my determination. And so one thing that he did was he brought me in. He saw me. He's like, I like your drive, like your determination. He wanted me to be his intern. So he brought me in as special assistant team president. And essentially from there, like you described, I am a Swiss Army knife. I will be in the concession stand some days, the merchandise booth, or I'm in the dugout taking pictures. Or, maybe I'm here spending a great afternoon with the guys up in the broadcast booth.
Oh, let me tell you, Ryan, as an intern who has been very fortunate to be set up with a host family through Y-D and to hear you contribute to making that happen, that makes me very grateful, because my CCBL experience, something that I've been waiting for a long time, just like you. I was disappointed. Was supposed to be here last year, never happened, COVID. And
yeah, we need to say that C word.
Right, yeah. And then the pandemic started to come to a slow halt, and now you're thinking, okay, it's time to go to the CCBL, but where am I going to stay? How's that going to happen?
Well, everyone who plays down here in the league, they get to have a host family, and the fact that there were interns who were allowed to have it as well, definitely great to hear that a good friend like Brad Klein gets to be able to be down here and have a host family and be able to have somewhere to stay, because being on the Cape, I can attest, I've been lucky for 21 years, and being able to be on the Cape for the entire summer, nothing better. And the fact that you guys get to join us makes the summer all better.
Yeah, of course, with Cape and the tourist attractions that are here, the Cape Cod Baseball League, something, of course, that wasn't in action last summer, as both of you have detailed, but something that brings a lot of people from all across the country, as Wyatt Hoffman puts a jolt into this one. It is back, and it is up at the fence and robbed over in left field by Chad Castillo. A 1-2-3 inning for Hunter Pattison, allowed out for Wyatt Hoffman to end the bottom of the third, and no score after 3. We send it to the 4th. Ryan Kelleher alongside us, Brad Klein. We'll be back with you next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. It's the top of the 4th, and there's no score. A hit apiece for each team. Both pitchers actually have been cruising nicely, but Wyatt Hoffman with a loud out to end last half inning. It was a robbed home run over in left field, so wowza on that play.
So, and Ryan, you're here. I have a quick question for you, Ryan. You've been spending the past, we'll call it 15, 20 minutes with us in the booth?
Yeah, just about. It's been a short time, but a great time.
And not 5 minutes ago, you said, I'm a Swiss Army knife. I do everything for this organization. Whatever my boss tells me to do.
I'm here.
Did he really tell you, come upstairs and just, shoot the you-know-what with Will and Brad? What are you supposed to be doing right now?
Right now, I'm going around. I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. I'm working a little project for the team to help recruit some more interns for the future, because one thing that I know, and I actually have had this conversation with you too, there's absolutely nothing better than baseball on the Cape. And why not open it up to more interns and being able to recruit more people from across the country and honestly be able to get more experiences? So I'm working on that, getting some content, some videos, some pictures, my camera, which is aside from doing all my other projects, I've been taking pictures and videos for the team, helping with social media, things along that nature. So I'm just trying to add a little bit more content there, and that's what I've been doing today.
That's fine. Just wanted to make sure we weren't getting you in trouble or just having you, take refuge upstairs in the air conditioner and whatever. But, as long as you're on top of things, I trust you.
Don't worry. I'm sure my boss wouldn't mind me being on the Y-D Red Sox Sports Network.
Well, maybe he wouldn't mind being on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, but what he would mind is that it took you, 2.5 half innings to get to your plug. Your plug being, hey, interns, come intern for Y-D. That was not at the top of your agenda. That's probably a problem.
Well, I'm just going to assume the great broadcasters that are here with me today are giving that plug every day.
Adam Meyer has retired 10 straight hitters working on the mound pretty nicely as he got Jake Thompson to ground out to begin this frame. But Chris Lanzilli at the plate struck out last time. Adam Meyer's stuff has been working pretty solid today for Y-D. Back to Meyer off his glove. Can he stay with it over to first? No, not in time. And it's an infield hit for Chris Lanzilli, the outstanding Wake Forest Demon Deacon. That brings up Spencer Jones out of Vanderbilt. But an interesting play right back at the pitcher to Adam Meyer.
Interesting score. If they actually do give an infield hit there, I think it's an error. It popped right out of his mitt. I think Adam Meyer should have had it.
I guess we'll hold our horses for the call as we're alongside Y-D intern special assistant to the president, Ryan Kelleher, in his second season interning with Y-D, and now joining Brad Klein and myself on the broadcast. And Ryan, a lot of interns, of course, in college, and they utilize the internship in the summer coming from all across the country, but you have the pleasure of being from Cape, and opposed to just baseball, what are some of your favorite things to do on Cape that are exclusive to Cape for people maybe listening or watching that don't understand the other great attractions for this summer destination for many people?
Yeah, the Cape, obviously, there's a lot of beaches, because nothing better than being on the Cape and going to the beach. It's something that they're well renowned for, whether it is the National Seashore or just any down local beach. That's one thing I usually do. I'll spend my time at the beach, or I love exploring the small little things. Like a couple of years ago, I had the pleasure to go find out about some really cool lighthouses up north in the Truro P-Town area, be able to explore those, found that out. Like Highland Light, be able to explore that area, explore the old Air Force Base up there, do things like that. Also, check out Decommissioned Lighthouse in Stage Harbor. It's one thing I love is adventure, and being able to be down here every day is a new adventure. So whether it is being able to go around, just find small little things to do, cool little attractions, either that, finding some good eats. Like today, I went to a restaurant that's been there since my mom was a kid, since my mom's been coming down. I'm a fourth generation Cape Codder, and I found out a new spot today to go eat. Not a sponsor, so I will not drop the name, but it was a great spot.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Okay.
Fire away.
Last guest we had, Will, you asked a very similar question, only there was a different spin on it because the last guest hadn't been to the Cape before. It was Jay Alter, ESPN. What are you looking to do on the Cape? Ryan, you've been on the Cape, so what do you do? Ryan, my question is, our last guest was an ESPN broadcaster. Are you nervous that you have big shoes to fill? And are you nervous that you may or may not be setting the table for if and when Wyatt's father, Trevor, comes back to town and hops on the broadcast?
Well, I don't know. Really am.
You're sandwiched by potentially
Hey,
by a Hall of Famer and an ESPN broadcaster.
Hey, you can plead the fifth. You don't have to give.
No. We need an answer.
I'm just gonna
we
say,
need an answer now.
If you let me give an answer, I just gotta say I'm honored to be in such high company, being able to be in the same headset that an ESPN analyst was wearing. That's something that I've always had a dream of, being on ESPN and being able to work for that great company. And of course, having the former all-time saves leader and number 2 all-time saves person right now, Trevor Hoffman, who's in the Hall of Fame, being able to go before him is definitely something special. So all I gotta say is I hope you guys continue to keep working hard and get some great guests in, because you guys are absolutely killing it.
It's a good answer. He's composed. He's more composed than Hannah, I'll tell you that much. Hannah puts the headset on, what was it, the third game of the season, Adam Meyer's first start at Wareham.
Yes.
The first thing she does is look at me with a weird face saying, oh my God, what's happening?
Well, you have to give the listeners context. There's people out there listening saying, who's Hannah?
Hannah's the social media manager.
We've introduced Ryan.
Apparently she's coming on next inning. That's what she thinks, but we'll see. So she puts on the headset, stops doing her job and pretends to do ours, right? Puts on the headset, and I was kind of rattled by the whole I can hear myself thing in the headset. I don't know what she thought we were listening to, if not ourselves, but, either way.
So Adam Meyer working here, 2 outs, top of the 4th. No score. Just a runner aboard on the air. That was committed by Adam Meyer, but he's been completely locked in today. Best that he's thrown the baseball this summer, 3 2/3 toss so far, 7 strikeouts, no walks, and just 1 hit allowed as he faces Curtis Byrne here in the top of the fourth. No score, and of course we know it's a big game for Y-D. We did not have to pump air into the tires to anticipate this game because everyone knows that it's a big one for Y-D as they want to make a playoff push. And speaking of playoffs, speaking of pushes, Ryan, you've seen this team have ultimate success many times over the years. They've been one of the most successful organizations over the past decade, and you've seen the players come through, but also the pedigree and success of head coach Scott Pickler as well.
Yes, sir. Honestly, Scott Pickler is, in my eyes, the best college coach in the nation at any level. And I think that is a very, very safe guess to say. Honestly, I grew up coming to these games, obviously, as I've said a million times since being on here the past 2 innings, and being able to watch Pick do what he does every day, and even this year being able to watch it up close while I stand in the dugout, it's honestly, it's magic. He knows the game better than anyone I've ever seen, and just being able to see him doing what he is doing now as a Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Famer. I believe he is a Baseball Writers of America Hall of Famer as well.
Yes.
I might be mistaken on that one. But being able to see him do what he does every day and be able to work with players and players year after year, and it's truly magical.
Adam Meyer with his 8th strikeout to end the top of the fourth, middle of the fourth, no score. Ryan Kelleher joining us on the broadcast, detailing his experiences with Y-D on the Cape and talking about 23rd year head coach Scott Pickler on the broadcast, middle of the fourth, no score. We send it to the bottom frame next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Ryan Kelleher, special assistant to the president for Y-D, an intern like myself. Will Connerly here with you. Brad Klein been on the broadcast with us as well. But here, bottom of the fourth, no score between Y-D and Brewster. And Y-D, of course, to reach ultimate success, you got to get to the playoffs, something that they have done a lot in the past. And you've seen Scott Pickler head coach teams win titles. He's won 6 titles, a Cape League record, tied for a Cape League record. What's so special about the teams when they're led by such a great leader? As you mentioned, one of the best college coaches you've ever seen, 4-time junior college national coach of the year in the state of California. What have you just kind of taken or learned from the success of Y-D teams? Because you've been really close to the team in many facets as a player and now as an intern, where you're in the dugout seeing the day-to-day and the orchestra going on in the head of Scott Pickler.
You know, just being able to watch Pick, like I closed the inning out, the half inning out, excuse me, just saying the word magical, just being able to watch him do what he does. I mean, he's been able to take players like Buster Posey and move them from shortstop to catcher and then lead the team to a championship in the same year. I mean, I've been here for 06, 07, 14, 15, 16 when they went that three-peat. Being able to watch those teams, it's truly magical. Watch the guys rally behind each other and get that drive going. I mean, I remember back in 2015, they weren't even considered a playoff spot. They clinched their playoff spot in the absolute last game of the season against Hyannis, and it was just absolutely beautiful to watch them make a miraculous run like that with players like Tommy Edman, who's now in the league, Ben Bowden, who's now in the league with Colorado, being able to see guys like Donnie Walton, who's now a shortstop for us, who is a co-playoff MVP and is now in the show with Seattle Mariners. Being able to watch guys like that come and rally behind each other, I mean, I can't say it's 1,000% because of Scott Pickler, but it's definitely heavily attributed to him.
The Tommy Edmonds, Joe Kellys, Colton Wongs, Buster Posies, Joe Panicks, the guys who come here who have success at the major league level, do you feel an affinity for those players as they move on, saying, hey, I saw these guys play on the Cape before they became stars in Major League Baseball? Because as yourself, a baseball fan, you wouldn't be coming to all these Cape games if you weren't, or working in a baseball league if you weren't. Do you feel that way about seeing those players move on to the next level and create themselves being stars?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 100%. I definitely feel more of a gravitation towards those players, watching them succeed and watching them head to the pros and being able to work hard and perfect their craft at the professional level. After watching them down here, it's definitely really, really cool to see them go to the show. I remember back when I was 6, Buster Posey was my coach at camp, like I had said a couple innings ago, and I remember coming here, there was the old PA announcer who would, his name wasn't Buster Posey, his name was Busta Posey. It was very, very specific way of saying it, and it's the only way you could say it down here in Yarmouth, Dennis. And I remember going back to, I went to a Giants game when I was 12 out in San Francisco, and I screamed, Busta Posey, and he gave me a wave. And being able to see those guys, and because they remember being down here, this is the best summer of their lives, a lot of them say. And being able to watch them in the pros, it's definitely really cool to watch, especially those ones who go double socks, like Joe Kelly and Connor Wong, and being able to see them go.
Chris Sale.
And Chris Sale as well. I can't believe I forgot that big name, but being able to see those guys who go from wearing the summer socks to the real Red Sox.
Dominic Keegan back at the track. Forget about it. That's a dumb bomb. 1-0 lead for Y-D in the bottom of the 4th.
You know, Will, you beat me to it. When I got on the broadcast, there was one thing that I wanted to say, and if you'll let me, I would absolutely love to say it.
Rip it.
That's a Dom bomb.
That's a Dom bomb. The call that was initially coined by Brad Klein when he hit a Dom bomb in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game, where he hits a go-ahead home run here in the bottom of the 4th. A Dom bomb for Dominic Keegan, his 3rd of the summer, a 1-0 lead for Y-D, and that ball was torched to left field. He mashes against left-handers, and he's continuing the pace. He is now 5-4-9 against lefties this season. And Cody Huff in the corner. He's going to round and try to get into second base. At second, he's there with a stand-up double. Now going to take advantage and try to get to third. He slides in safely, and they're in time. Cody Huff on third base with 1 out. So after the action was limited the last 2 frames, some action present right now for Y-D. It's Dominic Keegan with the home run, and Cody Huff thereafter with the extra base hit. 100 miles per hour off the bat from Dominic Keegan. 109 miles per hour off the bat from Dominic Keegan as the data just came in. And a scorching, wowsing 461 feet. Holy heck.
461 feet. Now, I'm going to say it again. Actually, you know what, Brad Klein, I would absolutely love for you to make this call.
It's a Dom bomb.
That is a Dom bomb.
Is bomb the, Dom bomb typically, 461 might be another level.
That might be a nuke.
Bomb.
I don't know. That was a Dom nuke at that point. That thing was sent. Honestly, it's not often that you see someone from Massachusetts down here. I can name a couple players off the top of my head. Like Ben Bowden was one of them. And as well as Will Toffee. Those are 2 guys who actually played for Y-D. But being able to see someone like Dom Keegan, who obviously is having an amazing career down at Vanderbilt, being able to see him from Massachusetts. I remember I was 2018 graduating class, and being able to see him play live at the high school level, because I was also competing at the high school level, was crazy. And now seeing him go to Vanderbilt and come down here and have the success as a homegrown kid, Massachusetts kid, I mean, he might have hit that house in dead center. I don't even know.
Well, that was indeed a Dom. We'll go with bomb there. 461 feet with a wood bat off the left-handed pitcher, Hunter Pattison. Man, oh man, Dominic Keegan. We knew he could hit 15 home runs at Vanderbilt, but now has a team leading 4 home runs. And this could be a hot take, Brad, but some say he could catch the home run leader, Owen Diodati, for first place before the season ends.
Yeah, I mean, Diodati is, squeeze bunt by Chase Latrell.
Bunt. Cody Huff comes across to score, and it's a 2-0 lead for Y-D. How about that trick out of the bag from the Long Beach State outfielder? You've seen the squeeze bunt in effect, and Scott Pickler going to it right there.
I didn't mean to say you're calling that one, but it's not often you see the squeeze bunt come into play. But it's definitely one thing that Coach Pickler likes to pull out of his back pocket that I've seen over the years.
You've seen him do it a lot?
I definitely have. I definitely those mid to late season games. He loves to get scrappy. That's one thing that he loves. And I mean, after following a Dom bomb, nice choke by Cody Huff. You have a speedster at the plate. Chase Luttrell from Long Beach State. It's definitely always great to see something like that. The opportunity presents itself.
And they ruled out a bunt single. Hunter Patterson, the lefty with his glove on the right side, wasn't able to play it well. It basically just pinballed right past him. I don't know if he ever actually touched the baseball.
Yeah, I don't even know. It didn't really look like he did.
But the squeeze play dialed up by Scott Pickler. How about those signals called? And now it's a 2-0 lead for Y-D, bottom of the fourth. Ryan Kelleher alongside with us, and he's been no stranger to seeing the Dom bombs, and now he's no stranger to seeing the squeeze put on by Y-D as Drew Bowser hits it right field, caught in right by Lanzilli, and it's Luttrell who's back in time. There's 2 outs.
Now, Luttrell wasn't really aware of how shallow that one was. A line drive that was almost kind of like a worm burner because it was low and fast and right at Lanzilli, giving him a chance to double up Luttrell. The book says to go a couple of steps off of first, and Luttrell probably took one more than he was supposed to. That was a little close for comfort.
You know, it is a short porch out there, and sometimes when you're down the field, you don't really realize it just because it is a short porch all the way around. And, I mean, really, the ball's flying today. I feel like Chase thought he had a little bit more space to give on that one, but he did get in because he is a speedster, as we just saw in that squeeze bunt play.
2-0 lead for Y-D, bottom of the fourth. They go with big ball with the 461-foot home run. Then they go with small ball as well to score the 2 runs this inning. The squeeze bunt along with the home run from Keegan. So you've seen a little bit of everything in this inning for Y-D to scratch across their 2 runs, leading 2-0 against the top team in the East, Brewster. Faltini at short, over to first. Tag applied. Tanner Smith running down the line by the first baseman Jake Thompson. And the side is retired, but not before a 2-0 lead for Y-D. 2 runs come across. Keegan with the homer, Luttrell with the suicide squeeze. After 4, a 2-0 lead for the Red Sox on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Boys, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. It's always been a dream of mine to be up here in the AC. That I found out was up here. Now I've found a new hideout spot. But thank you guys so much for having me. And Brad, I'll give you back your headset.
That's got it right. All right, one more for the road. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's always a great day when you see a Dom bomb.
No, but punch it. You got to say Dom bomb.
That is a Dom bomb.
There it is. All right, we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. It's the top of the fifth, a 2-0 lead for the Y-D Red Sox after Dominic Keegan hit a home run. A 2-0 lead for Y-D, and it wasn't any ordinary home run. It was a home run that went 461 feet off the bat, and now joined by somebody who broadcasted that home run as well, Corey Barbarian. Corey, you broadcast for Brewster, and now you're in the booth of the Y-D Red Sox, but many fans may not know this is your second time on a Y-D Red Sox baseball stream. So welcome to the broadcast, and how's everything going?
Oh, everything's great. That was 461.
It was. You heard that correctly. And it was
461?
And it was 109 miles per hour off the bat as well. So some eye-popping numbers right there. And something that was interesting as well is Dominic Keegan. That was his 4th home run hit this summer for Y-D. He hit 15 with Vanderbilt. And yes, eye-popping numbers off the bat, but Brad Klein, he's called the previous 3 home runs, and he has a saying called, that's a dom bomb. So that's what the call was on that home run as Adam Meyer records a strikeout. But Adam Meyer, he's been really good today. He hasn't let up a hit since the first pitch of the game and records another strikeout. That's his 9th punch-out recorded today, the best he's looked all season by a long shot. But Corey, somebody who broadcasts for Brewster, but you have something in common with Brad Klein, someone who also went through the prestigious Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse University. But I'm glad you could come up here and we could do some broadcasting. What do you call it, musical chairs or gymnastics?
Yeah, I mean, Brad called it musical chairs. That's what we'll say, even though it's not like the spots disappear. It's not like Brad gets booted off the broadcast. He's going on with my pal Johnny Godambowitz on the Brewster side of things. But yeah, this is my second time on a Y-D stream this year. When you guys got that Nesson game at Harwich, I was there as a fan.
A fan, yes.
On an off day, because we had off that day the Brewster Whitecaps, and the Red Sox and Mariners were one of 2 games on the Cape that day. And with you and Brad off the broadcast to go on Nesson, Tyler Henry, the voice of the Harwich Mariners for what, the 2nd or 3rd season now, he joined me totally impromptu on the broadcast. Brad just tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Do you want to go on?" I said, "Sure, I know nothing about the game. I didn't prep for it." But then Tyler comes around, and he knows about the Red Sox and Mariners. He's actually calling the game. So he did play-by-play, and I did color. And Tyler called it instant chemistry, which was a great compliment.
A great compliment to you.
Yeah.
Someone that's easy to work with. And now you say you didn't know much about the Red Sox at the time when they were playing against Harwich. However, you did some prep for this game. What are you looking forward to in this game? Has anything stood out to you other than the 10 strikeouts now from Adam Meyer?
Well, 10 strikeouts for Meyer. That ties Cape League high. And we saw Bryce Hubbard for the Caps, who the Sox are not going to play. Hubbard's going on Monday for his final start of the season at those Harwich Mariners, the first time the Caps will play there all year. And so if Adam Meyer, of all people, who has a 5 ERA coming in, strikes out Will Simpson here, he'll be the league leader in strikeouts in a single game. And he's been nothing but solid. Didn't look so far off the bat when Freeland hit that double down the line back in the first inning on the first pitch. But then he set down 10 in a row after that. And then you think, okay, this guy who didn't pitch from March 2020 until coming to the Cape in June is on a roll right now.
It's an incredible story. It's one of the best stories for Y-D overall, not just because of recency bias with Adam Meyer pitching so incredible right now, but someone who literally went to campus in 2019 and didn't get to play for 2 seasons, still has 4 years of eligibility left with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. And we talk about Adam Meyer and his success, and there's a hit to the left side. Will Simpson motoring into second base, and he has himself a 2-out double here in the top of the 5th.
I want to ask you this, Will, as a pitcher yourself. Hunter Pattison has had so much trouble this season in his 4th inning of work. Not the first time he's faltered against Y-D in his 4th inning. In his last start against Katuitt, gave up the only run of the game, a home run back in the 4th. Is it just a mental thing? Is it a physical thing, facing the lineup multiple times when you go so strong for 3, then falter in the 4th as a pitcher?
Well, when that happens so often, I think it can be a mental thing because you know that, hey, you can get strikeouts. You can get outs because you've done it the first 2 times. However, it's a multifactorial decision as well because when the hitter comes up and has already seen you multiple times, each pitch that the pitcher throws is information. Not only is it your second at-bat, but a lot of good hitters are standing on the side of the dugout. And Adam Meyer right now, who's mainly been totally in the strike zone, 49 strikes to 21 balls right now, Brewster hitters right now are watching every pitch he throws. So that's information for the hitter. So the more pitches that a pitcher throws, the greater likelihood that a hitter is going to get something that he can square up. So I think it's a factor of that. The mental side of it also, of getting through the lineup, if you know it's a watermark of a hump for you. Also, the more pitches you throw. And then another thing with it is if you don't have multiple pitches, it's harder to work through a lineup 2, 3, or 4 times. A lot of good starting pitchers are so good because they have 3 pitches they can throw for strikes.
It's just so fascinating. It almost seems like a mental block on the surface that Hunter Patterson cannot go beyond 3 innings at a solid pace. And it's understandable why they're throwing him 4 innings as a showcase league, a developmental league, wanting to get him comfortable.
Yeah, and it's for pitching multiple times as Adam Meyer gets the strikeout of Trey Faltini. 11 punch-outs for Adam Meyer, a new high this season in the Cape Cod League. Adam Meyer, 5 shutout innings, and now has 11 punch-outs, a new league record here this season in a single game. And in the middle of the 5th, it's 2-0 on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. The top team in the East, the Brewster Whitecaps, facing off against the Y-D Red Sox here at Red Wilson Field. Bottom of the 5th, a 2-0 lead for Y-D. They come to the plate to face Hunter Patterson and have the pleasure of being alongside Corey Barbarian. And Corey, Hunter Patterson back out for another inning of work. Corey broadcasts for Y-D, and you haven't been able to broadcast Hunter Patterson yet going into now his 5th inning of work. His season high this year came last outing against Catuit when he went 4 innings, so kind of uncharted waters for the Southpaw.
Absolutely. This is virgin territory right now for him, and good to see him getting this at 56 pitches through 4 despite the 2 runs given up in the 4th. That towering solo home run from Dom Keegan. We also called it a Dom bomb on our broadcast.
You did?
We saw the hashtag.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote it down on my game prep, hashtag Dom bomb if he hits one. And what do you know? Keegan hits one 400-plus feet off the bat. 461 to dead central.
It warrants some airtime to talk about that. But for Keegan and calling the Dom bomb, it's weird because having premeditated calls, of course, isn't always the best thing. But it's something that, with him, you just have to do.
Yeah. and the Vandy Boys Twitter account eats that up, too.
Yes, they do.
They posted those Dom bombs, the videos.
They did. That's awesome. Indeed. But Patterson now working through the lineup. He's going to be facing Zach Liu, Tyler Williams, and then the top of the order. And you're no stranger. You are a stranger to seeing Hunter Patterson pitch in the 5th, but you're no stranger to seeing quality starts from pitchers this year. And it's definitely thus far a quality start for Patterson, especially if he can get through 5 with the 3 earned runs or less. And he's scheduled to do that if he can work through 8, 9, and 1 in Y-D's order.
Yeah, with the Brewster ERA of 3.33 as a team, only got lower yesterday. Only 1 run given up to Chatham on 16 strikeouts, 2 walks, and just 3 hits. And the Caps only used 3 pitchers. I saw Y-D only use 2 yesterday in Falmouth. And as a result, bullpens are wide open, but Hunter Patterson's going to be a starter down the road.
Zach Liu puts a jolt into this one, under it and left. To make the play is Castillo, and there's one away here in the 5th. So now it is a new season high in terms of outs recorded for the left-hander Hunter Patterson. But you're saying that Y-D isn't going to get the league leader in strikeouts, Bryce Hubbart. When's he next scheduled to throw? Is it going to be Monday then?
It is Monday at Harwich.
Okay, music to Y-D fans' ears, I'm telling you now.
Absolutely. We got McIlvain going tomorrow for the Caps against Y-D.
Pat Gallagher for Y-D.
There you go. At Stony Brook Field, 5 o'clock.
But those should be two solid matchups. But when you look at Brewster and their ability to separate themselves from the pack, you go into this game thinking, okay, 2 games against Y-D, who's on the outside looking in of a playoff spot, but in that 3rd spot, and then Harwich, who's right there with you. You have a real opportunity if your team gets hot, not only that you're already solidified in first place, but to extend that gap as the season approaches the end for the Red Sox. Just 10 games left in the season after today.
Yeah, this 2-game series, as Williams strikes out, 3rd K only for Patterson. This 2-game series, this home and home, could solidify things for the Whitecaps as the number 1 seed, or at least a playoff position. Johnny calculated, my broadcast partner, that going into today's game, the magic number between Brewster wins and Y-D losses is now 8. So if the Caps were to win both these games, that brings their magic number down to only 4 and doesn't knock Y-D out of the playoffs because Harwich is that wild card too, playing Hyannis today, so you could almost pencil in a win. The Sox have to win at least one of these 2 games. And Y-D's not facing the Caps, or in the playoff at least. They're chasing Harwich. So they should be just as concerned as the Harwich Mariners. And look, you've got these 2 games today in this series. And the Caps also face Harwich 3 times before the year's over, including one on Monday. So those 5 games are the biggest 5 games of the season.
Yeah, especially coming against Eastern Division opponents who have the same aspirations, with only 4 teams making the playoffs this year. But you mentioned Hyannis and Harwich playing right now, and to give you a little update on that game as that pitch comes inside and hits Wyatt Hoffman, he reaches aboard on the hit by pitch. Hyannis and Harwich bottom of the 2nd. The score is 1-1 right now in the bottom of the 2nd. If we look around the league, Falmouth on top of Katuitt 4-1. Falmouth now has won 2 in a row after having a 5-game losing streak. They top Bourne, which is a rarity, and then beat Y-D last night. And then Bourne at Chatham tonight and Wareham at Orleans. Both of those games will start at 7 o'clock, so at the top of the hour coming up for those games. But all the games important to be scoreboard checking for teams nowadays.
So you were in Falmouth yesterday. Did you see their studio in their press box?
Their control room.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a beautiful thing that they have, and state-of-the-art control room that they have for their broadcasting, all the camera angles that they have on their broadcast. It is a really, really nice setup for Falmouth and the Commodores over there. It was our only time going there, and for Falmouth, they've really had the rainout bug, and it's unfortunate because they've missed 4 games this season that you can't get back, and that's the most rainouts that have happened so far in the league this year.
There were a flurry of rainouts in the first month of the season. Each team had at least 2 or 3 games. The Caps had 3 games washed due to rain, and the last 2 weeks have been tremendous. There has been some rain falling, but nothing enough to cancel a game. And so it seems like the rainout rule, which is new for this year, could only affect the teams down to, 36 games, which is a win for the league.
Yeah, how about the weather so far? Today it's been beautiful. A lot of people across Cape, they could be boating by day and taking in Cape Cod baseball by night.
I wish we could.
A 2-0 lead, though, for Y-D here in the bottom of the 5th. And you wish you could. Why can't you? You don't have a boat?
Well, there's something called preparation, aside from the fact they don't have a boat.
Well, with the preparation, as you get ready, Brooks Lee to center field. Back on it, Spencer Jones as he makes the play on the move for the 3rd out. 1 stranded. It was Wyatt Hoffman. No runs, no hits. 1 left. After 5, a 2-0 lead for Y-D. Corey, appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. It's been a pleasure. My phone's been blowing up saying, who's this guy? Corey, he's so good.
No, I'll get off.
Maybe he should replace. No, I'm playing. But yeah, he's doing. I've gotten really good stuff about Corey on my text messages. So appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Will. We'll see you after the game.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. And best of luck to you on the rest of the call. We kick it to the 6th on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network next. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Musical chairs continue, but it's a familiar chair. Brad Klein now alongside me on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
I miss you, Will.
Of the 6th, you do.
I did.
That's just so sincere, isn't it? Yeah. So Adam Meyer, he hasn't missed many things today, though. He has missed the glove. You can count maybe on one hand how many times he's missed it today. One of them coming right there, outside pitch, 1 ball, no strikes. But Adam Meyer, now with the strikeouts, a new single-season record here this season. 11 punch-outs through 5 shutout for the nasty right-hander from the University of British Columbia. The hard-throwing right-hander. He hails from Canada at the NAIA level, throws 95, 11 punch-outs for the righty. He has been filthy today, has just scattered 2 doubles, but has been unscathed with runners in scoring position. He's been filthy this year with RISP, continuing his nastiness on the mound, Brad. It's been pretty impressive to see today.
Well, this is exactly what Y-D was hoping to get, praying to get out of Adam Meyer, and they knew he was capable, too. In the first few starts, you kind of scratch your head because you hear about the stuff. Where's the stuff? It's there, and then he loses it. This is the first time he sustained the slider. This is the best his cutter has looked. And I don't have a radar gun, but my IDAR is saying that he's reaching 95 today.
Well, I'll take it with the IDAR. He eclipsed 95 at Orleans. And the 2-2 to Freeland. Fouled away left side is Adam Meyer eyeing a dozen strikeouts. Has 11 but 2 strikes right now. Here on Freeland, who had a double, the first pitch that Adam Meyer threw. But then retired 10 straight hitters thereafter. The 2-2, breaking ball, strike 3 called. Adam Meyer with a dozen. He's been locked in today, 1 away in the top of the 6th.
And that's the thing about summer ball is that Adam Meyer has likely never been to the Cape, and this is his first summer. He doesn't understand the magnitude of what he's doing right now.
A star being born right now in Adam Meyer. He got oohs and ahs, Brad, about his slider, which was recording spin rates close to what Major League Baseball pitchers throw as the slider.
No. What the top 1%, top 5%
right.
of Major League Baseball.
He was throwing sliders at a high rate, which is similar to some of the most elite rates in the major leagues. At Orleans, people noticed that. His 95-mile-an-hour fastball, everything's coming together today for Adam Meyer. Ball hit right side. Chase Luttrell's going back on it. Hits off the fence. It's down. Rounding second is Jake Thompson, and he motors into second, slides, and is in with a double with one out. In the top of the sixth, just the third hit that Adam Meyer has allowed today. All of them have been doubles, but so far this season, opponents hitting under 100 against Adam Meyer now with runners in scoring position. And pitching with runners in scoring position right here. Overall, Adam Meyer with the double surrendered to Jake Thompson. Came into the game 2 for 18 now with runners in scoring position on the season after he set down 3 in a row with a man on second base in Alex Freeland, who had a double in the first, and then surrenders the double to Thompson. Did surrender a double to Simpson with 2 outs in the fifth, but got out of it. He struck out the side in that inning, sandwiched around the double. But a dozen strikeouts for Adam Meyer, a performance to remember, the best pitching performance we've seen this season from a Y-D Red Sox pitcher. And with a 2-0 lead, with the game being close, the back end of the pen, those arms should be pretty hot today, Brad. So when you fire up that back end of the bullpen that includes 2 All-Stars, as Jared Godman is throwing down in the pen for Y-D, talented right-hander out of Oklahoma. You think of the Reed McLaughlin and C.J. Culpepper combination in the back end. After Adam Meyer's day is complete, trying to work through sixth. He's gone 5 1/3 now with 1 out in the sixth. Then a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Chris Lanzilli. 8th all-time in home runs at Wake Forest with 42, hitting .300, playing in his 6th game so far this summer. Reached on an error in the 4th that was committed by Adam Meyer, which broke a streak of 10 straight batters retired, which came after the first batter of the game, the 2-1. Hit hard, left side, 1 bounce to Brooks Lee. Over to first, and in time, 2 away.
So Adam Meyer now with a chance to work out of trouble with a runner on second for the 3rd time in this game. That is just so impressive, the way he stayed composed. I think maybe the most impressive stat outside of the dozen strikeouts is that he gave up a double on the first pitch of the game. The mental toughness you need to come back on the next pitch and be composed and be the Adam Meyer you want to be. I mean, that is something else. This is the best performance we've seen from any player, I would say, in the league.
That we have seen.
That we as Y-D broadcasters have seen.
And it's been one of the best performances across the league as well when you couple in the fact that he does have a new single-season league record here in 2021 with the 12 punch-outs. Ball skied towards center field. It's back. It's gone. A game-tying home run for Spencer Jones. It's a 2-2 score, and Brewster not down for long. They knot up the game at 2 in the top of the 6th, coming off the bat of Spencer Jones, his 3rd home run of the summer, as he drives in a run, a 2-run shot here in the top of the 6th.
Jinx?
It could have been.
Yeah. Now, Adam Meyer knew it, too. Clapped his glove before the ball even got to the apex because Spencer Jones got every bit of that baseball, and Tyler Williams is running into the wall for a show. That thing was smoked. That should not shake the fact that Adam Meyer has done an outstanding job for Y-D and continues to do so. I think it does speak volumes that Scott Pickler is letting him finish this inning. I think that's a big deal, assuming he doesn't get into more trouble here.
Grounded left side, backhanded by Brooks Lee, gets rid of it quickly on the money over to first. And there's 3 outs. But now before Spencer Jones ties the game, a home run to dead center field. In the middle of the 6th, it's a tie ball game at 2-2 on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. It is the bottom of the 6th, and it's a 2-2 score. Alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you, and Dylan Simmons on the mound now in relief of Hunter Pattison. And Dominic Keegan at the plate. And his home run warranted a lot of conversation when it went 461 feet to give Y-D a 1-0 lead. Is Keegan at the plate now? 2 balls, no strikes against the new right-hander into the game. Dylan Simmons pitches at Florida State, making his 5th appearance of the summer. He's also had 1 hit in 8 at-bats for Brewster as the strike is taken, but hasn't allowed an earned run in his previous 3 appearances. Now facing off against Dominic Keegan. 2 Vanderbilt Commodores with big-time blasts today. Spencer Jones tied the game. Last half inning in the top of the 6th, and Dominic Keegan torched a baseball to left field 461 feet. A solo shot to initially give Y-D a 1-0 lead. Ball popped up by Keegan on the infield. Jake Thompson at first calling everyone off, catches it on the infield. Grass for out number 1, but Brad, it shouldn't come as a surprise as one of the best programs in the country has produced the biggest plays of the game today. Spencer Jones for Brewster, Dominic Keegan for Y-D, both from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt Commodores in any summer baseball league, it's basically like a currency. How many Vandy guys do you have? Oh, really? That many? Oh, that team's stacked. But Dominic Keegan, as the only Vandy guy for Y-D, he's proven that he's plenty.
He is plenty. 4 home runs to pace the squad. Nothing in 1 count now to Cody Huff. 1 for 2 today. Had an extra base hit back in the 4th. Then reached 3rd base. And came around to score on the Chase Luttrell squeeze. Back to the pitcher to give Y-D a 2-0 lead. But then that lead was equalized last half inning by Spencer Jones. Simmons on the mound. His last appearance came on the 20th of July at Falmouth. 4 of his 5 appearances have come away from home for Brewster, but he's been pretty good in his last 3 outings. He hasn't surrendered a run. 4 innings pitched this season, 6 strikeouts, and he's just surrendered 2 hits on the year. The offering to Cody Huff, grounded left side through the 5-6 hole. No Faltini dives out for it, but not in time either way. Infield single for Cody Huff. And we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. The athletic mitt over at short by Trey Faltini. He shows it there, but not enough time as he fully dives out to keep it on the infield. But Cody Huff with an infield single.
Yeah, he shows the athletic ability to get that ball before it goes to left field, but he also shows the brains to realize that even with Cody Huff, the catcher, he's not going to make that throw in time. And you might as well not even try because the pretty much the only outcome is a wild throw.
So you've got Cody Huff aboard, Chase Luttrell at the plate. A tie score, bottom of the 6th. Y-D facing the top team in the East, the Brewster Whitecaps. With 2 wins, they could really put themselves in solid position to get in one of the top 2 spots. However, with 2 losses, Brewster would really push themselves and extend themselves from the pack and likely solidify themselves as the top seed in the East. So crucial games, important games over the next 2-week stretch to end this season as Chase Luttrell pops it towards center field. Spencer Jones shading over to the left, then called off in left field by Chad Castillo. He gloves it for the 2nd out in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Luttrell just lifted it, got under it, and it was off the end of the bat too, but that shows you his strength, right? To go,
yes.
15, 20 feet short of the track off the end of the bat. Now Chase Luttrell, if he barrels one up today, it's going to be trouble for Brewster.
Dylan Simmons, a first baseman and pitcher from Florida State, 6'3", 228, has had 8 at-bats for Florida State. Hit .225 in 30 games with 9 runs driven in for the Seminoles in 2021. Logged just 1 inning, though, on the mound. He was a 2020 freshman All-American named by Collegiate Baseball. but was diagnosed with lymphoma in May of 2019 and undergoing chemotherapy and radiation treatments throughout the summer and fall at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville before going to Florida State in January. From Jacksonville, Florida, went to Trinity Christian Academy, but now pitching on the mound. Making his 5th appearance of the summer, has thrown an inning apiece in all of his appearances. 6'3", 220. The dimensions on the right-hander, and a 0-1 count to Stanford's Drew Bowser. Drew Bowser 1 for 2, doubled in the second. Swing and a miss by Bowser, a ball and a strike. Or no balls and 2 strikes, rather. As Drew Bowser, who did have the double, back in the second. He's been now with 5 hits in the last 6 games, much different than the 0 for 16 start that the Stanford Cardinal hit 302 at Stanford this past season. But a 0-2 count as Simmons comes set. Timed then granted as the pitch was fired, and so we'll do it again. Bowser 1 for 2 today. Dylan Simmons trying to get the final out here in the bottom of the 6th with action in Y-D's bullpen after Y-D had an incredible pitching performance from Adam Meyer. 12 strikeouts, a new season record in a single game here this season. Has put on an incredible performance with a dozen Ks, but Spencer Jones with the equalizer last half inning, and Drew Bowser rung up on the outside fastball. So 1 runner stranded on base, no runs for Y-D, and after 6, we're all knotted up at 2 here at Red Wilson Field. We send it to the 7th on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Fielder number 51, Chad Castillo.
Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the 7th inning in a tie game, 2 apiece. Jarrett Godman comes on in relief of Adam Meyer to take over for what is an ongoing gem. 6 innings, 2 runs, both of them earned. They came on the Spencer Jones blast, 4 hits and 12 strikeouts, no walks for the Canadian. Jarrett Godman from Oklahoma delivers a first pitch fastball low to Chad Castillo from Cal Baptist. It's the best we've seen Adam Meyer throw unequivocally
best
this year.
Best we've seen any Y-D pitcher, really.
and gave up the home run at the end. The 1-0 slider swung through by Castillo, count even at 1-1. But it's not the first time that Meyer had been touched up. In fact, he gave up 3 doubles and worked out of the first 2. And that double in the 6th inning to Jake Thompson ended up resulting in the homer to Spencer Jones. And that slider tattooed deep center field. Tyler Williams going back on the track, and he watches it go. Jared Godman allows a home run on the first batter he faces. Chad Castillo takes the lead. It's now 3-2 for Brewster.
Now batting second baseman.
The first home run of the year for the Cal Baptist lefty. And after 2 strikeouts, both from Adam Meyer, Castillo was just waiting his turn for a new arm.
Got a pitch to hit. Go-ahead home run. Last 2 innings at the plate for Brewster. They've been able to use the long ball to now take the lead.
Now it's Nick Biddison's turn, the second baseman from Virginia Tech. No balls, 1 strike. Jared Godman already touched up a little bit, but then again, Adam Meyer gave up a double against his first batter today. Check swing foul to the right side, 0-2.
5 hits today for Brewster. All of them are extra bases, 3 doubles and 2 home runs.
Godman with a 3.21 ERA. 14 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts. The second pitcher for Y-D who came into this game with more innings than strikeouts. A flare to right field, a diving catch made. Chase Latrell with the belly flopping grab for the first out.
What a play made by Latrell today. He had the squeeze earlier in the game at the plate and then flashes the leather out there in right field, diving, putting it on the line, and stealing a base hit from Biddison.
Oh, Latrell got some serious air on that one. Wasn't just your typical slip and slide. That was a leaping dive going towards the ball that was tailing down with topspin. 1 away in the top of the 7th inning. Brewster leads 3-2, and Will Simpson fouls it off. Godman making his 8th appearance for the Red Sox. He's 2-0 with a 3.21 ERA, and now in line for his first loss. Unless Y-D can back him up with some offense. Will Simpson behind in the count, 0-2. Simpson had one of those 3 doubles. Also struck out 1 time, make it 2. That is the 13th time Brewster has been retired on strikes. The first time for Jared Godman. And the righty now has 2 outs against Trey Faltini, the shortstop from Texas.
Good work there by Godman. Did let up the home run to center field, but has responded to get 2 outs. And now trying to get out of this inning and let the bats go to work now with work cut out for them, trailing by a run.
Front door slider to the righty Faltini. Perfect pitch for Jared Godman in strike 1. And the slider is something that Adam Meyer did a really good job of. If Godman can pinpoint that slider, it might just act like another Adam Meyer on the mound, something that Brewster does not want to see. Quickly behind the count, 0-2, is Trey Faltini. He's been here before, 2 strikeouts on the day. 6 for 37 on the year. He watches the breaking ball just inside, and Jared Godman thought he had him.
Just missed. I think he's going to go to an off-speed pitch here.
Godman has 13 strikeouts on the year, and Faltini fights off the fastball.
Coming inside, maybe that's to set up something outside.
That sweeping slider has been fantastic for Godman in limited action. Meyer didn't really use it that much against the righties, didn't really have to. The lefties watching that slider on the outside corner, though. Here's the slider, there's the swing and a miss. Trey Faltini retired on strikes for the third time today. Jarrett Godman racks up his second, and for Y-D, it's their 14th.
Only means one thing.
But Brewster does get a run on one big hit from Chad Castillo, and in the middle of the 7th, they lead 3-2 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Brewster leads 3-2 over Y-D. Dylan Simmons, the righty from Florida State, on in his second inning of work, and Tanner Smith from Oregon watches the fastball off the plate 1-0 as the leadoff man. Well, Tanner Smith has figured himself into the lineup almost every day. Sharply hit ground ball over to second and handled by Biddison, one away. And the way Smith has done that is largely his glove. He's been a very solid left fielder for Y-D. And today, it was Dominic Keegan's turn, but Tanner Smith, the left-handed hitter, still wanted to get in the lineup. Scott Pickler wanted that southpaw and got him in as the DH. So a ground out. No one on. One out for Zach Liu. And one strike to the Cal State Fullerton middle infielder, not corner infielder, utility infielder, Zach Liu. Chops it to the left side. Faltini comes on and rifles across the diamond in time for the second out. So Zach Liu, who put a jolt into the last baseball he faced in the 5th inning, nearly had a home run, is now 0 for 3 on the day. 2 flyouts and a ground out. And Tyler Williams is 0 for 2. He's at the plate with 2 outs and no one on.
Interesting about Simmons, who was ranked as the #1 high school first baseman in the state of Florida from Jacksonville, and actually was an All-American at the plate, a freshman All-American at the plate in 2020, but making his 5th appearance on the mound this summer, and they knew he was a good pitcher and could factor into getting on the mound, and that's what he's done.
And Tyler Williams lifts one shallow left field. Chad Castillo jogs under it to make the catch. Side retired. At the end of 7, Y-D trails by 1 on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the 8th inning, and Brewster is in the driver's seat, up 3-2 on the Red Sox after the solo home run that Chad Castillo hit in the away half of the 7th inning. And Jared Godman gave up that home run, now facing Alex Freeland, 1 for 3 with a double. And we welcome in Hannah Turilli, the social media manager for Y-D, on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network for, I think, the 3rd time. Is that right?
I think it might be the 4th time.
We allowed you on the broadcast 4 times. What were we thinking, Will?
We must not have been.
I guess not. Hannah, the prize social media manager for Y-D, doing a good job typically.
Good
job.
job.
Right. No, typically. Right now, you're not doing anything right now. You're supposed to be down on the field, and you're not.
Oh, my goodness. But I just made a post for Adam Meyer. His final line
I
was
respect
fantastic. Hit a Y-D single season record of 12 Ks, and I just posted it on Instagram. So I'm doing my job.
Yeah, you are. You are.
And
You're doing a good job,
It was
too.
a solid performance by Meyer today.
Great performance.
But speaking of doing your job, you also posted a Dom bomb as well today.
I did. And
It's always a good day.
Yep. We also got reposted
Ooh.
by Vandy Boys, which is great because they have 300,000 followers, very large social following. It was beneficial for the platform.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Alex Freeland. Well, you know that Hannah's a good social media manager. As Freeland grounds it off the ankle of Godman, he's scurrying to the middle of the infield, not in time. An infield single for Alex Freeland, the 2nd time he's reached base today. And there's a no-out base runner for Jake Thompson. I was going to say, you know that Hannah's a good social media manager when she's able to convince me to create an Instagram.
Yeah, she did, and you're somebody that actually earlier in the year you said, what was your tweet? You said, you won't catch me on Instagram.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Brad specifically
So,
stated,
good
"You will
job.
never
You
catch
got
me on
him on the
Instagram."
gram.
Thank you for,
So-
yeah, I sure did.
And so she is.
I'll try to find the tweet.
And you have been a solid social media manager. Explain to the listeners, what do? You run the Instagram and the Twitter, is that correct? And something else or no?
Yeah, so I run the Instagram and the Twitter, and I also just recently made a TikTok for Y-D.
Okay,
So
you can drop the plugs. You can drop.
all of them are Y-D Red Sox, except the Twitter is YD_Red Sox, the Instagram is YD Red Sox CCBL, and the TikTok is just YD Red Sox. We have pretty solid
The
TikToks
TikTok.
so far.
How recently has the TikTok been created?
I think it was about 2 weeks ago. There have been a couple so far. It's just a fun way to kind of get to know the personalities of the players better. Some funny videos.
Jake Thompson showing bunt and pulling back at the last minute. 1 ball, no strikes to the runner on first. That's Alex Freeland after the infield single. Brewster leads 3-2 in the away 8th. And Hannah Turilli, the social media manager, taking a selfie right now. That was not a good look for me. Oh, my goodness. That's not great. Here, one more time. I'm going to stop talking so I can smile right now. Hold on. Wasn't really a smile, more of like a half nod type of thing.
But maybe the fans can see if she posts it. No?
Yeah.
No.
Interactive broadcasting. It's the
Yeah.
future.
It is the future, but you talk about TikTok and funny videos. What's the best TikTok? What's the best thing you've learned from a TikTok so far this year?
The best thing I've learned, it was funny. I made a TikTok. So there was a trend where it was asking team members who on the team they wouldn't let date their own daughter if they had a daughter. So I did that with Y-D. And it was pretty funny to see who people would not want to date their daughter. There was a lot of Wyatt Hoffman.
Who was the most common answer?
Wyatt
Will
Hoffman.
Connerly.
And no, Wyatt Hoffman, I was surprised. He's such a nice kid. And also Andrew Marrero, who I was also very surprised. He left, he got drafted, but he was, if anyone has been to the games, he was so energetic, really nice guy, and just lots of energy. Really just positive vibe for the team. So I was a little surprised.
I enjoyed it, and I don't typically go on TikTok very often. I still don't have a TikTok. You're not going to find me on TikTok, but I enjoyed it.
For
By the way,
now.
not to completely change the subject, but we have to get this in as the runner goes and Thompson fouls it off. Shout out to Papa Turilli.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my dad. If he's
Absolutely.
listening, I grew up in Singapore, and he just went back to Singapore, and he is in a 14-day hotel quarantine, and he's definitely listening to the broadcast.
So that makes the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network global. We're global now.
Global. All the way to Southeast Asia, baby.
Across the world. Everyone watching.
How does that feel?
It feels great. There's a lot of players coming across the country and across the world as well with the viewership.
Might as well call Red Wilson Field the United Nations right now. As Thompson golfs it down the right field line. It's down for an extra base hit. Rounding second and on to third is Alex Freeland. He's going to try to score, and he will without a throw. It's an RBI triple for Jake Thompson, and Brewster puts a chokehold on this game. It's now 4-2 in the away eighth. So Hannah Turilli, evidently bad luck.
Uh-oh. We need
Yeah.
to get Ryan
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, you get 3 chances.
Kelleher.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
Yeah. Kelleher.
1 for 2. You're going to the Hall of Fame with that average.
Well, the score when Kelleher was on the broadcast was 2-0. Was that the net score for him? He was there for the inning that Y-D scored 2 runs, and he wasn't there for any of the runs for Brewster. So, yeah, his plus-minus is the highest right now.
Yeah, and just to paint a picture, he's behind us in the broadcast booth now just to even out the superstition right now. And
That's true. So if there's a hit, we know it's because of Ryan, and I guess he just has to stay up here.
the infield is now halfway in for Chris Lanzilli with no outs and an 0-1 count after the foul ball, with Jake Thompson, the CCBL All-Star, on third base. Before Hannah got here, Adam Meyer was cruising, 12 strikeouts, 6 innings, 2 runs. Jarrett Godman came on in relief and has gotten 3 outs, has given up 2 runs, 3 hits, and potentially counting with no outs in the top of the 8th inning.
It also looks like there's some action in the bullpen. I think that's number 16,
That's Reed McLaughlin.
Reed McLaughlin, who is an amazing pitcher.
Statistically speaking, the best pitcher that Y-D has to offer, and you can make the argument, best pitcher in the league.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You could.
All-star player, BYU, but as we learned from a TikTok, actually, he's not Mormon. That was a little TikTok thing.
There is a Mormon on the team, though.
There is.
Oh, boy.
Crew Robinson.
There you go. Yeah, it's Crew Robinson.
Yeah, who's also an outstanding player.
So Chris Lanzilli, 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. And Hannah Turilli, the social media manager for Y-D, joining the broadcast. Lanzilli nubs it, foul ground, right side, and Cody Huff on for a look, but it's down, foul. So Hannah, you seemed very eager to get back on the broadcast. My question is, why? Did you miss us? I mean, you're on the broadcast, or you're with the broadcasters, I should say, pretty routinely. So what was it about this experience? Maybe it's what just happened, the headset experience. What was it about this experience that you wanted to repeat?
I have to say, I was just using the microphone, and I do prefer the headset. It's really fun. Swing and a miss.
Oh, yeah. Down goes Lanzilli for out number 1.
Yup. Now, now coming up to bat is the same Spencer Jones, who most recently hit a 2-run homer
Yeah,
Yes.
2-run
Against-
home run. The big
against
fella.
Adam Meyer.
6'7".
6'7", out of Vanderbilt. He's teammates with our wonderful Dominic Keegan, who's also amazing, who also hit a solo homer, not a 2-run homer.
Spencer Jones at 6'7", the biggest position player, tallest position player in the CCBL.
Wow.
And like we mentioned a minute ago, he scored the game-winning run as he shows bunt and pulls back. Cody Huff checks back at third with Jake Thompson dancing off the bag. But since Zach Lewis playing in on the bunt, there was no one to throw to. But Hannah, we documented this earlier. Spencer Jones scored the game-winning run for Vanderbilt on a wild pitch that went over Cody Huff's head in Omaha.
That's crazy. So who knows what we're about to see here. I wonder if Cody remembers that had been Spencer.
It was. He does.
He
yeah.
remembers. Oh, that's a little tough then.
Such a dramatic moment, I don't think you could forget.
I know. I wonder if it's motivating for him or if it's kind of like, ooh.
Well, it was a wild pitch by its very definition. Wild pitch meaning it's the pitcher's fault.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, still, I feel like that's pretty.
But the result, so sour, right?
Seriously, yeah. That's got to stick with you. You know? See what happens here. Count is 2-2 with 1 out.
And a runner on third base, Jake Thompson, the all-star, with an RBI triple to give Brewster a 2-run lead in the top of the 8th inning. They scored 1 on Godman in the 7th, 1 and counting in the 8th. And Jones watches the fastball outside. The count is now full with Hannah Turilli still with us. And the headset, not Coldplay in your ear. We've already established that.
We have.
Throwback to the Wareham game with Owen Diodati in front of us.
Y'all are so obsessed with Owen Diodati.
Only Will. I'm just on the bandwagon. Payoff pitch, grounded sharply over to Lou. He comes home, and Huff tries to apply the tag. Now Jake Thompson in a pickle between third and home, and Zach Lou tags him on the rear end for the second out. Spencer Jones stays on first base, though. That might be a mental running bases error because that was a relatively long pickle, and you think that, but with his speed, Spencer Jones might have been able to squeeze out second base with Jake Thompson just treading water down the third base line. So now there are 2 outs and a runner on first base for Curtis Byrne.
And that was a huge out right there, not letting a run come score because Y-D, they have the top of their order coming up next inning. You've got the Wyatt Hoffman, Brooks Lee, Dominic Keegan combination due up. So important for Y-D, and of course knowing that time is running out with team at-bats, crucial to get that run not to come home.
And Hannah Turilli, the social media manager for Y-D, a Boston College student, joining the broadcast. And we were talking to Ryan Kelleher earlier about his intern experience. Curious to hear how your experience has been with the Y-D Red Sox on the Cape.
So I grew up overseas in Singapore, but my family has a house in West Dennis, and I grew up ever since I was little going to Y-D games. Like, I've been a Y-D fan my whole life. My little brother Reed used to be the Y-D bat boy. My family used to be a host family. So, I've kind of just grown up coming to this field, so it's a really, really cool experience getting to actually work here. I've kind of always wanted to swing and a miss.
For the second strike on
Second
Curtis
strike.
Byrne. So let me ask you this, right? So Ryan grew up a fan as well. He would come to the games and he would go to the camp, and it's kind of surreal for him to be an intern helping the team in a different way. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Jared Godman working from the stretch. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Down goes Byrne, tornadoing around the slider for the 3rd strike and the 3rd out. Hannah Turilli left on a cliffhanger in the middle of the 8th. With Brewster up by 2, we'll have you for the bottom of the 8th, too, to finish that thought right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Y-D down by 2. We lied, by the way, before the break. We said that Hannah Turley would be back to finish her thought. She's not back. She's down on the field doing her job, but that's okay. As Wyatt Hoffman is in a quick 0-1 hole to Dylan Simmons, the righty from Florida State, who's worked 2 innings already, and Hoffman grounds it to the left side. Faltini falls down on the backhanded play. Trey Faltini, the shortstop in shallow left field, couldn't find his footing, and it's an infield single for Wyatt Hoffman to start the bottom of the 8th.
Brooks Lee, Dominic Keegan, Cody Huff. This is the opportunity right now for Y-D to come back in this one. Right now is the time. If they want a shot, it's go time for Y-D right now with the meat of the order coming up.
And this is the first time that Brooks Lee is swinging from the left side. With the righty Dylan Simmons on the bump, all of Brooks Lee's home runs coming from the left side. Fastball misses low and away. Now, we could talk so much about what Brooks Lee means to this team and what Brooks Lee means to this league. Was in a big spot in the 8th inning yesterday in Falmouth with a runner on base, down by 2, much like he is today, but struck out. This one lifted to deep left center field. Castillo waves his arms to wave off Spencer Jones, the center fielder. He makes the catch for the first out.
It's the exact situation yesterday. Wyatt Hoffman got on in the 8th, and then Brooks Lee and Keegan struck out, and Lee goes down there. Now it's up to Keegan to do some damage.
Dominic Keegan struck out in an identical situation in the 8th inning, runner on first after Brooks Lee failed to do his job. Now, Keegan had a home run in the 4th. Can he do it again and tie this game at 4 apiece? With a runner on first and 1 out, Keegan checked his swing, didn't go on the slider. That slices the outside corner. Dom Keegan has had some late game heroics before already as a Red Sox. This is just his 7th game, but he did hit a game-tying home run in the 9th about a week ago. Infield at double play depth, and Keegan lofts it foul out of play. So quickly behind 0-2 on Dylan Simmons, who's done a very good job. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 18 strikes, only 9 balls thrown. So he's been pounding the zone. To Dominic Keegan especially, who's yet to walk and has 7 strikeouts as a Red Sox. Wyatt Hoffman, a modest lead off of first base. He knows his run doesn't mean much, and Keegan waves at the breaking ball off the plate, strike 3. The second time in as many days that Dominic Keegan goes down via strikes in the 8th inning with a runner on base down by 2. And now there are 2 outs for Cody Huff with a runner on first.
Good slider right there from Simmons, the right-hander who's been good out of the bullpen for Brewster, trying to work 3 innings out of the pen.
Cody Huff, the Stanford product, thinks better of the slider off the plate.
His previous long appearance was just 1 inning for Brewster, and just tossed 1 inning this past season at Florida State. But trying to get 9 outs now for Brewster.
And the second pitcher of the day for Brewster that reached their high water mark, Hunter Pattison, going 5 innings. He had never done that before in the CCBL. Cody Huff watches the fastball down the middle, count even at 1-1. Huff is 2 for 3 on the day, a double in the 4th and a single in the 6th. Ended up scoring a run in that 4th inning. The infield is back. Dylan Simmons tips his cap, and Cody Huff checked his swing, didn't go on the pitch that misses outside and low. You'd have to think that Huff is just trying to get his roommate at the dish, the lefty from Long Beach State, Chase Luttrell, with the righty Dylan Simmons on the mound, and just keep on moving that line down by 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning with Wyatt Hoffman on first base. And the 2-1 to Huff, grounded and fouled.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do, and that has to be the mentality for Y-D. You want base runners, and you want to pass the bat on to the next guy and stay alive in this one.
Huff's 2 hits today broke a 3-game hitless streak. And now in a big spot. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, down by 2. He has 7 RBIs on the year and watches the fastball inside. So Wyatt Hoffman will have a head start at first base after his infield single. He's been eager to get off the bag. Brooks Lee flew out. Dominic Keegan struck out to bring Cody Huff to the plate with 2 outs. It's a full count. Simmons comes set. Kicks and deals. The pitch swung on and lined up the middle. Right to the shading Nick Biddison, who was playing up the middle and trying to hold on Wyatt Hoffman, who knew he was going for second. That retires the side at the end of 8. It's Y-D down by 2 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the 9th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Enter Reed McLaughlin, down by 2 in relief of Jacob Metter, who came on to take over for Adam Meyer. Gave up 2 runs over 6 innings, and then Godman over 2 innings gave up the same amount, 2 runs with a homer and an RBI triple. And Reed McLaughlin hasn't done much of that. In fact, he's done none of that this year, and even 0 ERA over 13 1/3 innings pitched.
He's been so good, Brad, this year for Y-D.
Chad Castillo, the left fielder from Cal Baptist, homered off of Godman, the first batter the Oklahoma Sooner faced. The 1-1, down the middle, 1-2.
This right-hander just lights out of the bullpen from BYU. His 8th appearance, and hasn't let up a run, has 3 saves as well, hasn't even given up a hit in his last 2 outings.
What he doesn't have is a win. And if Y-D can spark some bottom of the ninth action, he'll have that. Ground ball sharply hit. Zach Liu picks it and throws it in time to get him. Oh, Zach Liu robs Chad Castillo of a leadoff single. An absolutely outstanding play by the third baseman.
It's the Liu corner. How about Zach Liu right there? His glove is incredible. And Reed McLaughlin thanking him for that outstanding play made by Zach Liu. But Reed McLaughlin, he's been so good, and sometimes to be that good, you need some good defense behind you.
Now, good defense is an understatement, as late time is called by Joe Karanka, the home plate umpire. Reed McLaughlin just went through his delivery anyway. One out, no one on, thanks to Zach Liu. And the first pitch misses low for ball one to Nick Biddison. Second pitch that McLaughlin threw. But the first one that counts, 1 ball, no strikes, with 1 out. Biddison, the second baseman from Virginia Tech, 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Ground ball sharply hit. Brooks Lee tornadoes around, and the throw's in time. Liu and then Lee. The left side of the infield is on point in the top of the 9th inning. 2 away for Reed McLaughlin.
How about that? That is fantastic. That is outstanding defense on back-to-back plays. 2 of the better plays we've seen this season coming on back-to-back plays. Which one was better?
Oh, man.
Yes.
I'm not going to pick.
I can't. Comment below.
What a cop-out answer. Will Simpson now, the DH, watches the breaking ball in the dirt. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a double in the 5th. He was stranded, though, courtesy of Adam Meyer. Well, the thing is, they're very different plays. That one, the Liu one, was hit right on the screws to Liu, and he had to play it on one hop, picked it out of the dirt like a first baseman. Lee, on the other hand, he had to show off his range, and then he had to show off his arm strength off balance.
He was spinning as he threw that ball to first, and it was still on the money. His throws.
His field awareness to know exactly where to be on that spin. It was an accurate throw, and Drew Bowser didn't have to do much work.
It's a big reason why he's one of the best shortstops in the country. He does it all.
Will Simpson gets under one to deep center field. That one's gone. Will Simpson knew it, admired it for a couple of Mississippis. Now he takes the home run trot as Brewster seizes a 5-2 lead. The first run of the season allowed by Reed McLaughlin. And Brewster is all over this one right now. We knew eventually it would likely happen, but only 2 weeks left in the season. Reed McLaughlin was still unscathed. There was a part of me that statistically thought maybe it could happen. A shutout season for McLaughlin is off the books.
First run allowed for the righty comes in the form of a home run. And opponents, they're just hitting 156 against the right-hander. But home run right there, and now a 5-2 lead. Y-D's got their work cut out for them in the bottom of the 9th.
The bottom of the 9th will feature 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Luttrell, Bowser, and Smith. And combined, those 3 have 2 hits on the day. Trey Faltini quickly behind 0-2. So now he's 1 strike away from a golden sombrero. 2 strikeouts coming from Adam Meyer, and then 1 to Jarrett Godman. And the 0-2 to Faltini. Swung on, grounded foul left side. So 2 hits for 5, 6, and 7 in the order for the Red Sox. One of them was an infield RBI bunt single by Chase Luttrell in the 4th inning. Trey Faltini just trying to revive this inning and get some more insurance with Brewster up 5-2 in the away 9th. Reed McLaughlin, the BYU righty, bounces the slider 1-2. Just came off of a home run allowed by Will Simpson, the DH from Washington. The second time he's reached base, his second extra base hit of the day. And the first run allowed by McLaughlin this year. Valtini watches the fastball on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. So Brewster once again goes down on strikes, and that's the 4th time that Valtini is retired via the punch-out. A golden sombrero for Valtini. We head to the bottom of the 9th with Brewster up by 3. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Red Sox right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 9th, it's now or never for Y-D with Chase Luttrell leading off. And the Red Sox down 5-2 after a 1 spot for Brewster in the 7th, a 1 spot in the 8th, and a 1 spot in the 9th inning. Brewster doing it via long ball in the 7th and the 9th and the 6th. But Chase Luttrell grounds it to the right side. Should be an easy play for Biddison, and the second baseman zings over to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. Chase Luttrell is the first victim of the 9th from Dylan Simmons, who's been electric. 3 1/3 in relief for Brewster of scoreless baseball. So here's Drew Bowser. The Stanford Cardinal. Bowser is 1 for 3 on the day, doubled to right center field his first time up. A Y-D would take a base runner any way they can get it. He nubs it foul to the on-deck circle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Dylan Simmons proving that Brewster's pitching is deeper than we thought. Hunter Pattison started for the Whitecaps, and I think every Red Sox fan was just thankful that it wasn't one of their marquee starters. Pattison just made his 2nd start of the season, and a breaking ball misses just low. Count is now 2-1 to Bowser. But Pattison, he did a pretty good job. 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts. And Bowser fouls it back, and then when you think, okay, we've gotten through their starter, now it's time to go to their bullpen, a team that seems like they're already playing with one hand tied behind their back from a pitching perspective. They go to Dylan Simmons, 3 1/3 shutout baseball.
And he hadn't thrown more than an inning in his previous 4 appearances, and he's pitching the ball very effectively. Y-D.
Bowser goes down swinging for out number 2. The 2nd time Drew Bowser's been retired on strikes, and now Y-D is down to their final out.
And the woes continue against Brewster. They hit just 175 as a team against Brewster coming into this game. They're a better hitting team at home, but over the last 10 games, it's under 200 for Y-D as a team. The hitting has slowed down a little bit, even with the addition of Dominic Keegan and Brooks Lee, 2 very talented superstars in the middle of the order.
Tanner Smith, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And Y-D is at risk of dropping their third straight. Fastball outside. If Tanner Smith can keep the line moving, Zach Liu would be next. With Y-D down 5-2, 2-ball, no strike count. Smith shows bunt and pulls it back on the fastball that misses inside and low. So Tanner Smith is ahead of the count, and Simmons just takes a few beats with the rosin bag and steps off. Inside, ball 4, a 2-out walk for Tanner Smith, and a base runner. In the bottom of the 9th for Y-D, they're alive with Zach Liu at the dish, down by 3. And that's the 7th walk of the season for Tanner Smith. And now Liu, 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a groundout. The Red Sox are still only 1 out away from their first 3-game losing streak of the season. First pitch breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 1.
And that was just the first walk today for Y-D.
Yeah. Now, walks have been hard to come by for the Red Sox all year, just making it harder on themselves than it really has to be.
.282 on base percentage for Y-D as a team coming into this game, which is worst in the league, and they draw the least amount of walks.
It's set to be the worst mark in the league for a single team since 2004.
And that's what happens a lot of time when the walks are down and the on-base percentage gets decreased with the limited walks. Because if you're not walking, you're potentially striking out or grounding, putting the ball in play.
And now Y-D is down to their final strike, with Crew Robinson, the pinch hitter, waiting on deck for Tyler Williams. A runner on first, that's Tanner Smith after the walk. Brewster in first place, Y-D in third. Top 2 teams make the playoffs. And the 1-2 to Liu. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, got him on the elevated fastball, and that'll do it. 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the 9th inning put an exclamation mark for Dylan Simmons on an outstanding 4-inning shutout baseball performance. And the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox drop their 3rd straight for the first time this year and fall deeper and deeper into that dreaded 3rd place hole.
They do. Tough loss for Y-D there. This stretch right now, kind of uncharted for Y-D. They haven't had the 3-game losing streak, so now the heightened importance, the pressure continues to rise as the season continues to dwindle down to its finish as they fight for that playoff spot. And they'll see Brewster again tomorrow and a chance to take a split in this back-to-back day series.
That's the only consolation prize from this loss, right? There's always tomorrow, and we get a chance, we being Y-D, gets a chance to go back and get revenge tomorrow. But in a way, revenge might not be enough because every loss is an incriminating one in your playoff hopes, and Y-D is now slowly but surely falling out of playoff contention. You almost feel like tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Stony Brook Field, that might be a must-win.
Yeah, potentially could be. Now with Y-D looking forward, 10 games left in the season, so you start to look and see where the potential are to get points, and then it comes down to scoreboard watching and seeing what you can do on a nightly basis to increase your point percentage, which is the way that they're going to dictate which teams get to the playoffs this year based on the top 2 teams in each division. So you're right, it will be an interesting matchup tomorrow. Gallagher on the mound, so hope to get a good start out of him. And the interesting thing about this losing streak, Brad, or this past week when the hitting hasn't been alive, the pitching performances haven't been bad. Lions yesterday solid. Adam Meyer was solid. Zach Jacobs was solid as well. However, on the other hand, the offense has slowed down a little bit. You have gotten home runs from Dominic Keegan. He's been a nice spark in the offense, but the other troops to come around him, it's so hard to be a one-man band in an offensive showdown. So to continue to pick the pace up and see who else can be into that combination. It will be crucial to see what they can do, and excited to see how they can rebound tomorrow at Brewster.
Adam Meyer's dozen strikeouts wasted, but that is by far the best we've seen him this season. Career high 12 strikeouts, and tomorrow it's Pat Gallagher and his 1-0 record against Chris McIlvain at Stony Brook Field, 5 o'clock. Be with us on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network with the pregame starting around 4:50. Thank you so much for joining us Wire to Wire, and we will be with you tomorrow night.